Okay, so let's start. Okay, so let's start now. I think I am audible. I think I'm audible to you all. So, so this basically I'm Abhinav Roy. Uh, as I've told you, I'm a student of Netaji Subhash Engineering College, and I'm just today I'll just start with HTML and CSS. The CSS part I'll do the later episodes of this web development, and today I'll just go on with HTML. So what is HTML? HTML is actually hypertext markup language. So it is a standard markup language for document designed to be displayed in a web browser, any web browser like Firefox or Chrome or anything like that. So what is hypertext? Hypertext are something the text that are relational to the browsers. Okay, so they can be related to links, hyperlinks also. And markup is basically, yeah. So markup is basically the term for like print editing. So like the editor who would go through the text and add annotation. It is basically how you would add to live your text or your links. So suppose your uh, you have your plain text or your links to your or your images. Okay, so you just cannot put those in the web browser like that only, so you have to do something. So for that, markup is used. Markup is basically providing the functionality to those text or links or images or anything like that, the formatting part. Then next is HTML elements are the skeleton of the HTML pages. So what are HTML elements? Basically, HTML elements are all those things, like those are the tags, the content between the tags, the head part, the body part, the footer part. All those things are HTML elements of the HTML pages. Okay. So moving on, I'll go to yeah. This is very big. This is one of the confusions in this HTML world, that people get confused from HTML elements and tags. Usually, in like normal terms, we usually tell that elements are as same as the tags, but there is a small difference between them. Elements are defined as the starting tag, then the content between the tags, and the ending tag. The whole thing is called element, but the tags are only the starting tag and the ending tag. Okay, so this is the small difference between them. Then we have browsers do not display the HTML tags but use them to interpret the content of the page. So when you write any tags, suppose you write the image tag or a header tag, h1, h2, may it be anything. So those tags are not displayed on the browser. They are used to interpret the content of the page. Like for example, if you write an image tag and between the image tag you have used an image, so the browser will use that image and not the image tags. So moving on. So markup. What is markup? So in bookish terms, in computer text processing, a markup language is a system for annotating a document in a way that is syntactically distinguishable from text. Okay. So basically, this is the bookish terms, but in simple terms, I may tell you, markup is basically a simple. Uh, what can I say? Suppose you have gone to a editor. Okay, now the editor has given you some text. Okay, and you have to, but he has not given you that. He has given you text in the written form. Okay, so you have to publish it somewhere. Okay, so to publish it, you are printing it somewhere, and that thing is used by markup. Okay, it is just the formatting of your normal links or text or images. Okay, now you can format it in italic or bold, the text or anything like that. You can underline the text. So that formatting is what is called markup. So markdown. Now there is another term called markdown. Okay. So the markdown is let's first say the bookish definition. Markdown is a lightweight markup language for creating formatted text using a plain text editor. So the extension for Markdown is .md. You'll find this .md file in when you use GitHub. So the README files are always Markdown files. Also, GitHub has the comments you write in GitHub. You can also use Markdown there. So Markdown, in simple words, it is a specific markup language. Okay, it is specific markup language, and it is so the basic markup language only. Basic markup language only, but Markdown language, it just simplifies the things. Okay, so HTML elements, HTML. Oh my god! Wow, the HTML elements. The HTML elements is a collection of start tag, its attributes, the end tag, and everything in between. Okay, I'll tell you what attributes are. But HTML elements are basically the things like the heading, head tag used. Okay, the title tag. Okay, these all things, they are the elements of a HTML page. Okay, so in HTML page you'll find these basic things like the heading part, the title part, the body part, or the main tag part, and the footer part. These are the basic things, the basic elements to be precise, you'll find in a HTML page. HTML tags. So what are HTML tags? There are many tags used in HTML that are used to interpret the content between them and display on the HTML page. So an HTML tag is used to mark the start and end of an element. So the start and end are displayed like you use a like greater than function, greater than sign, and then the name of the tag, like paragraph. For paragraph you'll use p, for image you'll use img, like that, name of the tag. Then a closing, or you should say a greater than sign, and then for closing again you use a less than sign, a slash, and then a closing sign, the name of the tag. So every each and every tag doesn't have a closing tag. Like image tags, they don't have a closing tag. Break tags, br, they don't have a closing tag. Horizontal line tag is also there, hr, they don't have a closing tag. So but most of them have. Okay, so HTML attributes. What are attributes? Attributes is basically, let's first show the bookish definition. An HTML attribute is used to provide additional information about elements. So I'm basically clear that you will not understand anything from this definition. HTML attributes are, so basically if you suppose you're displaying an image to a HTML page. Okay, so you'll give the source to it. Okay, so what are the important things in HTML in an image? You will provide the source to the image. Okay, you will have to provide the width of the image. If you don't if the default width is not such if you do not like the default width of the image, and you will have to provide a height for the image. Okay, so in the same tag, within the tag, beside the name of the tag, you have to provide some attributes. Now what are attributes? Just are like a key and pair. You have a name and you have the value. The name would be the source, src equals to, and then the value of the source, and the link that is given. Then the width, you write the width equals to and the width of the image. You write the height and then the height of the image, and this thing is called the attributes. So let's go to the VS coding and show you some things. Okay, I've not opened VS code. Oh, I've opened it. So just write a new file here. New file, you can write control plus n. I think I'm audible. Just wait a minute. I think I'm audible. Wait a second. Okay, just checked myself. I'm audible. Okay. So you can create a new file using this new file link here. Or I'll just use Control plus N to create a new file, and then I'll just close this tag and save this. Okay. You can save to anything, any folder you like. I'll just save to desktop and name this hello world.html because it's a starting first file that you're creating. And in VS Code you will just write HTML, and you'll find options like HTML5, XML. So I'll just use HTML5. So see, here is the basic definitions of the HTML elements. So this is the head tag. Okay, the head element. So this is the head tag with the head starting tag and the head ending tag, and then here is the contents of the head tag. Okay, so this whole thing is called the head element. So now you'll find the meta name equals to viewport. This is usually used to define the viewport of the, that is the viewing that you are using in your HTML page. So this is not required for us. And then we have title. So basically what is title, I'll show you. First let's copy the path and just run it on our HTML, sorry, the Chrome. On Chrome, just paste the path here, and you'll see a blank page because I've not done anything. I've not written anything on my HTML file, but you'll see document written here. Okay, so this document is actually the HTML, the title that we are using. So if I name it hello world, and if I reload this page, you'll find hello world written here. Okay, so let's now okay, the body tag. Okay, the body tag is usually used to describe or write the main the content of our page. You can also use the main tag here. Okay, it serves the same purpose. Mm, So many of us will also use a header here. Okay, the header tag is used to write the starting elements like the heading or and all. We also have the nav uh, in many pages, or I think on almost every page you'll find a navigation bar. Suppose, can I get YouTube? Okay, so let's find YouTube. In YouTube we have this thing, the search bar, the microphone sign, the go to live sign, this the app sign. This whole thing is called the nav bar. Okay, so usually in HTML pages we write the nav bar thing in this nav element. Another important thing is are divs. So divs are basically they create a block. Okay, they create a block of the block space where you can write your stuff or display or create your stuff between these divs. So let's remove them and just write here, and again you have heading tags. Okay, heading tags include six tags like h1, h2, h3, h4, and h5, and say h6. So the h1 is the largest one, largest in terms of font size. The largest font size of h1, followed by h2, then h3, then h4, up to h6. So let's just write h1 tag here, and I'll just write hello world here just to serve the purpose. I'll just reload the page. You'll find hello world written here. Okay. So similarly, you can write h2. We'll just copy this hello world only. h3, h4, five. Okay. Another thing in HTML, you can sorry, in VS Code, you can just write the name of the tag, and it will show you the related tag written, and then you can just enter and get the opening and closing tag of that return thing. So we have h5, and let's write the last thing h6. So just reload the page, you'll find the h1, the h2, the h3, the h4, h5, and h6. Okay, so the font sizes are not fixed actually. Later we'll study CSS, that is cascading style sheets. How can I explain you? If your if your skeleton is HTML, okay, then the skin upon you is CSS. Okay, so it basically adds styling to your page. Look, if I give you a nav link, okay, so it will not look very decent to any side. Suppose this is h1 tags only. Okay, if I want a bigger hello world, okay, so I have to use some styling related to it. Okay, so there are actually three types of styles. Okay, one is inline styles. Okay, you can just write here there is a attribute called style. So you can just write style here, and there is one property of it called font size. So in font size, you can write the font sizes of it. In later videos, I'll tell you about what are the parameters according to which you can set the font size. One is px, that is pixel. One is rem, and one is em. Okay, so I'll just tell about those in the later videos. But now let's just write pixel. Okay, 100 pixel. Let me write it 100 pixel. So now you're seeing the hello world that is of h1 size like this, and just reload the page. Great. You have used CSS style, okay, of hello world. But this is not actually, this is the inline style. Another thing we have, that is internal. Yes, internal styling. Internal styling is that you use the styling in the same HTML document. You can use that in the inside the header, inside the head title, head tag. So using style, and then you can write the The HTML is the using selectors. I'll show you in the CSS part. Okay, this might be a bit confusing for now. I'll show you in the when I show about CSS. I'll tell you about this. Next we have about the text formatting. I'll if you suppose you want to write a paragraph. Okay, so you have written this. I'll just remove the extra part from here, and if I'm using styling, let's suppose I'm using text align center. Just center the thing. Okay. Now, suppose I want to write a paragraph. So it's just easy. You just have to write the paragraph tag, that is P, closing tag. You'll get it, and then you'll just write a paragraph that is my name is Abhinav Roy. Okay, and then you can see the thing written here. One more thing, if you just write without any tags, that is also valid. It is not important that every time you have to write it some designated tags. You can just write without any tags. The main thing that you can get from here is the p tag actually gets your a new line. Okay, not only a new line, but separated with a space. Okay, so if you suppose I write something after this in my VS Code editor, like Netaji Subhash, random words. Now, if I reload this page, it will not be displayed in the next line. Okay, it will display in next to that my Abhinav Roy word. Okay, because I have not used any HTML tags, so the editor will suppose it is written in the same line. So here comes the use of break. So what is break? Break is actually a tag which does not have a ending tag. So when you apply this break tag, it shifts the thing that is written after this break tag to the next line. So now if I reload the page, that Netaji Subhas will be printed next to my Abhinav Roy. Okay. So now I'll just next study about a new tag that is called bold. It is important somewhere, and similar to this is strong. Okay, so first let's see bold. Suppose I want to bold this Abhinav Roy. Okay, so it's pretty easy. I'll just use a B tag and a closing tag and just write this Abhinav between those tags, B tags. Just reload the page. I have a bold Abhinav. My name is a bold Abhinav and Roy. Similar to do this is strong. Strong is also a HTML HTML tag. But the but now if you reload, you will not find very much difference between those. They are just two tags, but with almost same functionality. Okay, so I'll just remove the strong thing. So now if you want to write your text in italics, that's also pretty easy. You just have to write I and then the Roy. Okay, if we now reload, it will be in italics. I'll just zoom in for you. It will be in italics. Okay, so the HTML for this text formatting is pretty easy. You can just write HTML W3 schools. Okay, you'll just find the basic tags used for HTML here. These are basic. There are list of things that you can use in HTML because and many a times you don't have to memorize all of those. Okay, by the time you're using those, you will just get the usage of that, and you can use those. You don't have to memorize everything. Okay, you just have to practice them, and eventually you'll learn everything. Now, let's learn a new thing: image. So the image has two things basically. The basic things, that is the source and the alt. So in the source, this is also attribute. These two are things are attributes. Okay. So the source attribute is basically used to mention the source, that is the link or the file path that is used to display the image. And alt is used, suppose there is a problem in the internet, and or the HTML page is not displaying the image. Okay, then the thing that we write inside this attribute, the alt attribute, is displayed instead of that image. So I'll just copy a, suppose I write flower png images, and just take this flower image. Okay, I'll just copy the image address and just paste in the source part. Okay, and in the alt I'll just write flower or beautiful flower, and just reload my page. Okay, I'll just maintain the original size and the reload. I'll find a beautiful image of the flower. So suppose you don't like the image size of this. Okay, the width and height is not suitable for my page because it's too big. Because you can see that my images, the text I've written is not displayed nicely because of this huge and large image. So I'll just use another lines for this so it is displayed properly. So I'll use another attribute of image that is called width. So what is the width attribute? So this thing, the from here to here, this is the width of the image. Okay. So you have to you can mention the width of the image. I'll just write 50 pixels is enough, I think. If now I reload the page, oh my god, no, 50, not 50 pixels, 200 pixels, I think. Yeah, I think 500 pixels is okay. And you can similar way you can also write the height of the image. Let's suppose you're writing 300 pixels for the height, and it looks distasteful, I think. I don't like this image, the height and width, but you can get the point. Okay, I'll not move about for that. So next, so basically all the tags you'll use, you can get it from the W3 resources. Those are very straightforward. You'll not find anything that, suppose you're writing an image tag and you'll find the name of the tag like um, anything else. Okay, if you want to get something like image, you'll find a similar name for the tag. So they're very self-understanding. You can go to the page and see them. uh, so let's do another thing instead of this. I'll show you another thing that is called forms in HTML. Those are very important. So I'll just show you that. I'll just comment this out. Okay. Oh, I've done this by using, I'll show you how I've done this. I've just selected the thing that I want to comment, and then control and slash, control plus slash, it will comment the thing. Okay. So let's just see how forms in HTML work. Okay. So you have seen these login forms or sign up forms in basically every website that you use in today's world, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, anything like that, even YouTube. Okay, you have to sign in. So in those we use forms. So forms basically not only use the front end part, that is the displaying part, but a major role plays in the back end also. That is, I'll just show you. So if I write a form, I'll just write in this way, form tag. So a form tag has two main attributes. Okay, I forgot to tell you this. The image tag also does not have a closing tag. Okay, there is no like this that slash img slash img. There is nothing like this. Okay, it's only one tag. Now the form tag. The form tag has two main attributes. One is action and another one is method. So what the action does is it tells you where to. So I'll first tell about method. So method is to tell the form that it has to get or post. Get and post are HTML or yeah, they are the HTML functions, keywords. I'll just make sure I'm saying the right word. I don't know. They're used to post. Usually, you use form to post something. So what is post? Suppose you write your username, your password in the given input boxes. So this information about the username and the password or email ID, whatever you write there, is posted to some links. Okay, is posted to some backend link where they're processed and stored in the databases or checked for validation that if they're correct or not, like the user had not entered a wrong email without the @ or .com like that, and then they are stored in the database or worked around anything like that. Okay, so for this you have to write post here. Okay, so now I'll not use it now. And action. What is action? Action is used if you write the method as post, then you have to tell the form where have the form to perform that action, to which link. So in action attribute, you have to write the link to where the form will be posted. Okay. So I also not use action now. Those things will be studied later. So now I'll just so HTML will not be looking very pretty. So it is basically this, as I told you, it is a skeleton of the of any page. So it does not look pretty, but yes, we have to study that first. So let's start writing a form like using the username. So you can write username like this, and then the input tags, but I prefer using label. Okay, label is another HTML tag in which you can write a for, and in input tag here, before that below that I write input tag here, and in input tag you can write the ID. So in HTML page, when it loads, it interprets for which label which ID has been written. Okay, so I'll just write for as username and the ID as username. So when the HTML page loads, it gets for which label which input has been used. Okay, so I'll just write user name here, and then in input tag also does not have any closing tag. Okay, so this type is a attribute for inputs. So in this you have many values for types. One is text, another one is email, then password, then submit, then radio buttons, checkbox, and many other like that. Okay, I'll show you one by one. So first is text. What is text? Yeah, in type text, the input tag gets that the user will only input or write here text things and not any other thing like anything that is a text. So now there is another important attribute for input that is called name. So name is not necessary to write in this context here, but basically, as I told you, the form usually we post the form to a suitable link. So when that link is in the backend gets that form, it gets from this name attribute. Okay, it gets from this name attribute. So suppose if I in the backend I write username, this name equals to this username. So the backend knows which input I'm talking about. Okay, it will not know like from this type or ID. It will know if I write username in the backend, that is name. Suppose username is which country. If I write Abhinav here, in the backend I write Abhinav, the backend will know which input I'm talking about. So in this name attribute is important for that. So let's just check how is my HTML looking, and it's looking pretty bad. Okay, usually the forms are not displayed like this. We'll use CSS for that, or there are many CSS frameworks like Bootstrap present that makes our life easier. We'll use them, but for now I'll just write the HTML forms like this. So you can write the text here, okay, and anything like that. So you can write numbers, anything like that, but in the form of text. So I'll just give this a heading. Sorry, a h1 tag with a style of text align center to center the elements, and I write HTML forms. Okay, HTML forms. Wait, I'm thinking. Yeah, this is more prettier than. So I'll just use the style attribute, the main what I can say, the main tag. The main tag, the holds are h1 and form. So if I used the style attribute in the main tag, the contents of the main tag will also will apply with the same style we have used here. Okay, so if I've used text and center to the main, the contents will follow the same styling. So let's just move to the next thing. So the next type, you'll see that the forms have emails. So here also we'll use the same thing like email in the label part. I'll just give a line here and then email and an input tag. Okay, so in this you can write text. Okay, the emails are also a type of text only. Okay, but what happens is, suppose you write a text like in the email section. Okay, in the email box you write Abhinav Roy and then press the submit button and go. So for you, you have written the correct thing, but actually it is not the correct one. Okay, so you should write type equals to email. What this email type does, that it checks that the thing written in the email box is has @.com present in it. Okay, so it checks that. So yeah, this is a default validator in backend or in JavaScript also. In JavaScript, you can use custom validation. Okay, like you don't want Yahoo.com. Okay, so you can check that is a custom one. So you can check for those, but those are custom ones. And here also I write the name. Name equals to the suppose the email, and then yeah, it's pretty. Oh, sorry. If I've written the font, I should write ID equals to email. Let's just check. Okay. So here because HTML, I've written this input and then again label an input. So when we reload the page, it prints on the same line. Okay, because the HTML interprets that we have written these things in the same line. So for that, I should write a break here. Now if I reload, I'll get this username and email in two different lines, but I'll just write two breaks here to make it look decent. Yes, now it's okay. You can also store them in a div. Okay, I'll just, for the sake of the purpose, I've written breaks here. You can store this label and input in a div. Okay, or in paragraphs, as I told you, paragraphs. Okay, they also serve the same purpose, but just to make things short, I use these two breaks. Okay, so again, I'll use these two breaks, and then the another thing, that is a password. So I'll just fast forward the things. Password, and in input we have text password. So what this type password does is, in many sites you'll see that the password in the input box, the password is displayed as dots or asterisks or anything like that. Okay, so this type password enforces the user to write, but displays the password in dots. It will not show them. And again, I write the name password, and the ID also same as my for, that is password. I just reload, and suppose I write anything here, it is displayed in dots. So next I'll just give a break to this, and next you see an important thing that is called radio buttons. So radio buttons are the thing that we use if we want to select only and only one thing out of those things. Okay, so where can we use this in forms? Suppose you want to write your gender. So people only have one gender, so we can use this radio buttons in that case. So I'll just write select gender here, and then apply a break, and then I write label. So label for male, and then if you are male, then display this, and then the input. The input will show a type of radio. Okay, with name of gender. The name here should be same. The number of genders does not matter. You can write 3, 4, any genders, but this name attribute to all of those inputs will be same, because in the, so that in the backend part you can get all of those values. Then the ID will be male, because we have written the for as male. I'll just copy this thing for the female part, and I want this in the same line, so I'll not use br. Gender will be male, but the this thing will be female. I just reload the page, you'll see this. So you can select only one thing out of those two, male and female, only one thing. Okay, so moving on, suppose you have a branch. Okay, so the branch, how you can select the branch. So I'll just write select branch for the heading. So I just want, in every site you have seen, the branch is displayed in a drop down menu. Okay, so you, for that I'll just write branch here, and for that I'll not use input. We have another HTML tag for that, that is called select, and in select also we have a name, an ID, and then between these select tags we use options, the options that is displayed as a drop downs. So we have this value. So what is value? I'll tell you. Suppose I write CSC to shorten it. Suppose I write CSC, and then we have to write here as CSC. So this thing and this thing is different. This value is the, suppose I submit this form, and it goes to the backend. This the thing that I've written under this value attribute is sent to the backend and not this thing. This thing is displayed. This thing I'm talking is displayed to the user, but this value is the thing that is posted to the backend. Okay, so it is very important to write the value part. So again, I write option. Suppose IT, and I'll just write IT here. I'll write just for the sake of the purpose. I write another thing, another option like mechanical, mech, and mech here too. So I'll just reload the page. You'll see select branch here, the branch of CSE. CSE will be the default one selected because it is written in the first one, so it will be default selected. So I can just click on the arrow, and I have got three things. So I'll just if I click on IT, so IT will be selected. So let's move to the next part. The next part will be suppose yes. Another thing is a type of checkbox. So as I told you, I have type radio. The radio is used when we have to select only one and only one option out of the number of options present. But suppose you have to choose a number of things. Okay, not only one, but you can choose a number of things. Suppose I have the hobbies. So many of us don't have only one hobby, so there are number of hobbies present in our life. So in that case we can use checkbox. Okay, so checkbox you can use one or more than one options. So I'll just write select hobbies. I hope the spelling is correct. And then my input tag, the input tag of type checkbox. So another thing, it's not always important that I have to write the label first and then the input. So I'll show you here how you can write the input first also and then the label. The pattern of the thing does not depend upon, it depends upon the for and the id. If I've written for here and the id with the same name, it does not depend upon the pattern of where I've written the input and the label. So here also the name has to be the same. It does not matter how many options I'm giving, the name has to be the same. So suppose I've given the id reading, label as reading 2, and then this reading. So I'll just apply a break here to shift the other things in the next line, and I'll just copy this thing. Okay, to three things. Yeah, three is enough, I think. And here I writing that the basic things I'm writing, and for also writing same as the ID. And here suppose playing, for has the same thing, and then playing. I'll just reload the page. I'll get three options. I can select one, I can select two, I can select none, or I can select all of them. Okay, so let's just move to the next part. So in many sites you also find that the use the websites give an option to add your image, like in suppose in Slack, I think, and in many such sites you will find that they provide the option for providing your image. So basically they don't use this HTML one, they use another other they use other packages for that. But I'll just show you how the HTML allows us to select the file file from our computer. Okay, I'll just write a label here for image. Suppose image file is a random name, and select your image or upload. I'll just write upload. Okay, upload. Show you the upload button, and then input. Input here will be file. Okay, this file enables us to upload a image or anything like that to the site. The name and the id is image file. Okay, if I reload this, I'll get this upload choose file and no file chosen. Suppose I choose file and I go to my pictures. Do I have any pictures? Suppose I paste this. Okay, so gnx2.jpg is posted. Now the last thing, you have many other things, many other attributes to study, but I just show you the last thing. Like suppose in contact forms, you find this is in contact forms. You do not find this in login forms, but in contact forms you basically find a text area in which the site developer tells you to write a message or leave a message for him to read, and or a post of appreciation. Okay, so for that cases, you do not want to write a simple short input box. Suppose you want to write a big message, so it will be pretty awful to write this. Okay, so for that we use text area. So I'll just write type your message here, and then a label the basic stuff. And for this label thing is not important. Okay, it will just suited and preferred among the web developers. And then a text area. So difference between input and text area is that the input does not have a ending tag, but the text area does have an ending tag. Okay, and the input, you can also write a value here. Okay, so as first suppose I'll write name. So name will be suppose description or message. ID will be same as the for message, and this columns and rows. Okay, same as mathematics, the basic definition or arrays, the basic definition of rows and the basic definition of columns, default one, or you can change it, suppose 5 or 6, things like that, and just see what happens. You get this. Okay, wait a minute to make it more readable. You get this type of message here, and then message, and then this text box. Okay, so this text box is resizable. Okay, you can resize this. You can resize this. You can resize this according to your purpose and write your stuff here. So this is more preferable than writing in this small space. So next I can also write a value, like suppose value is done. Suppose type here, I write it, and if I reload, okay, sorry. So this value, as I told you, this value, as I told you, is used to send the thing to the backend. Okay, this value, as I told you, is used to send the thing to the backend. So now, if I write type here, this type here will go to inside your description box. So the final thing is, I can just remove this. Okay, one more thing. Input, we have another important. Okay, I'll just show you after this. So one more thing, the final thing is the submit button. So you can use input here. You can use input here with the type of submit, and then you find the submit button. Okay, I'll just break here. So you'll find a submit button here. So instead of that, we use button. Okay, button is more suitable. Okay, button is another HTML tag, which is basically it is very explanatory. It is used to type the button, and in button we have the type. Button also we have type, and in button the two important types are reset and submit. Okay, reset is used. Button is simply the type button is used so that the form does not submit, and it is used just to press the button. Reset is used to reset the all the input boxes. So everything that is written there is then removed, and it again goes back to the original state, and then submit. The submit is used to submit the button. So I'll just write submit here to display the message, and it is the same as before. Okay, it is same as before. So what happens is, suppose if I submit my form now, see it reloads it. Okay, it reloads, and when it reloads, you can find see this sign. Okay, you can see this reloads. So basically, during this reload time, it will go to the backend. Now, as I have not written any action here in the form element, so it is not going anywhere, and it brings us back to this space. So to take a look at this email URL, okay, the URL here gives username, email, password, branch, upload, type, message. Okay, so these things are the things that we have written here as name. Okay, suppose I remove this thing, this name of password, and I reload the page and then submit it. See, username, email, and branch. There is no password here. Now you get it why I've written name here. So this name is the thing that is sent to the backend. So now if I submit the form, I have password in my URL. So which is sent to the backend, but I have not written any action, so it will not be sent. So now one important thing that is important attribute that this input requires is required. What is required is that if I submit without entering something, it tells me that I have to enter that. Suppose now if I submit, okay, first just reload. Now if I submit, it tells me please fill out this field because I written required here. So yeah, that's pretty much. And I just forgot to tell you one other thing that's important, and that is anchor tag. So what this anchor tag does is it includes a href element. What this sorry, not element, attribute. What this href does, it just you have to just write basically anchor tag is used to write the enter links to our HTML page. So what this href does, that is you have to write the source or the link that you have to write in the HTML page. So suppose I write https://www.google.com, and now if I reload the page, so I basically did a small mistake. This link is displayed here, okay, but I have to write something between these anchor tags so that this link I can click on that link. Okay, so if I write Google here, and now if I reload, I'll find a Google written here. So this thing I have to write so that I can click on the link. Now if I remove it, it gets removed, but the link is present here. So I'll just write Google here, or go to Google and reload. I find go to Google here. Now if I click it, I'm taken to Google. Now one last thing that this anchor tag helps us to do is the target. Okay, so what you found at that, I was in this HTML page, and when I clicked on that HTML, sorry, anchor tag, it took the link on the same page, which is very disturbing. You can see. So basically, I want to click on this link, and the thing that this link goes should open to a new tab, not on this tab. I want to stay on this tab. Okay. So for that, I use a attribute called target. This target is very helpful, and I'll just set target to blank. What this does is, now if I reload the page, what this does is, now if I click on this link, it will open on a new tab, and which is very helpful. So I can get to the my previous tag. I can also open the Google tag. Okay, tab. Sorry. So now let's just end the stream. I'm talking for 1 hour and 10 minutes straight. So more things about HTML, HTML and CSS will be talked and discussed in the next videos. Till then, listen to music, study, do anything you want. Bye bye.